What's up guys, JV2017 here, and today we're taking a look at the new companion coming to Far Harbor named Old Longfellow. Now don't be worried, nothing in this video contains leaked information or visuals, but I do want to warn you about looking at the comment section because I just can't monitor and censor that like I wish I could. There will be spoilers there because there's more information floating around about Old Longfellow that I will not reveal until the DLC comes out. So there's your fair warning. The Fallout Twitter account published the following tweet yesterday: "Meet Longfellow, your guide to Acadia and a new drinking companion for your player." So if you had seen the spoilers for Far Harbor, this was part of it. You know, the fact that he is a new companion. Through the closed beta, people revealed that, but now Bethesda has officially confirmed it themselves, and we can talk about it. So the old guy will be a companion option, but we're not sure if he'll be another Ada, you know, like an automatron with just a few lines and no affinity system, which was kind of disappointing to me at least, or a full-fledged companion like the original 13. To me, Ada was just a mission companion, pretty much. You can still bring her around the world and she'll react a little bit, but really she was just the narrative driver for Automatron. And personally, I'm really hoping that Old Longfellow is not the same similar kind of companion. The tweet also implies that he really knows the island of Far Harbor since he'll be our guide to Acadia. And if you weren't familiar, Acadia is the name of the national forest located on the island that we will be exploring, so we'll see a lot of wooded rural areas, and apparently Old Longfellow knows them very well. He's also apparently going to be our drinking buddy, but I really don't blame him considering how awful and dangerous the island of Far Harbor appears to be. There's seriously a lot of scary creatures roaming around this place. So let's go ahead and take another look at Old Longfellow in the reveal trailer and see what he has to say.
The fog can do a number on you. Get you all turned around.
Yep, that's all we have in terms of what he has to say so far, and all we see of him in the trailer. So literally like 7-8 seconds of this guy. But he does say the fog can do a number on you, get you all turned around. Again, I speculated that maybe this radiation fog is being produced by somebody. Maybe it has some kind of psychedelic effect on the player. Maybe it's just radiation fog and we have to look out for it. There's any number of possibilities on that. As for what this line says about Old Longfellow, we can't read into it too much. Again, he is going to be our guide around Acadia, so the fact that he knows about this fog, he knows what it does to the player, that makes sense, you know? He's familiar with the area, he's going to be our guide around Acadia, we should expect that. We still don't know what his motivations are, if he belongs to any kind of faction that's currently in the game, or maybe he was part of the faction and, you know, is not anymore. Maybe he's just a townsfolk person who is just really familiar with the area and wants to help out. We don't know any of this information, and it's hard to read into what we have so far. However, it's not all for nothing, because apparently Old Longfellow is inspired by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, an American poet who wrote Paul Revere's Ride, of course, which is about the American Revolution. And the poem also references the Old North Church, which is the hideout of the railroad in the vanilla game in the Commonwealth, which is pretty cool. So I found the following background information and that connection on Tech Times, so link in the description below if you'd like to check that out. That is my source for this. So Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was born in Maine and lived the first half of his life in that state, but also moved to Cambridge, Massachusetts in his later life, and obviously Boston, Massachusetts, that's where the Commonwealth is. As we can see from the side-by-side comparison, they look fairly similar, and I think there's two possibilities from this fact. Number one, it could be that the fictional Longfellow, or, you know, not so fictional in Far Harbor, is related to Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Maybe his grandfather was the real Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I think that'd be cool kind of historical tie-in, and I would appreciate that. Or just inspired by the real Longfellow. It's just kind of, hey, there's this character in history, let's just kind of make a character kind of like him. Maybe he'll share some poetry or something like that. I think that would also be really cool. So the real life Longfellow has theoretically been everywhere that the Far Harbor Old Longfellow should be able to travel to in terms of Maine and Massachusetts, but we don't know if we can bring Old Longfellow back to the Commonwealth just yet. But we can keep our fingers crossed. I'm really hoping that's the thing. Personally, I would love to bring a new companion to experience the rest of the Commonwealth in the vanilla game. We also have more information about Old Longfellow from Fallout Shelter. That is the app, of course, that came out before Fallout 4. It was kind of a vault management mini game that got us all excited before the launch. So Old Longfellow is being featured as a legendary vault dweller right now on the app. Unfortunately, however, he's only available for a short time and exclusively on the Android. I was actually going to check this out, but I have an iPhone, so I can't. That kind of sucks. But Fallout Shelter does give us some nice information by revealing the name of his lever-action rifle called the Henrietta. Once again, here's a look at the weapon in the trailer. We get a small look at it, but this is the Henrietta, as we can assume. And this kind of reminds me of Barney Rook, the crazy old guy up in Salem in the northeastern part of the map who has the Reba and gives you the Reba 2 from his quest. And of course, you can still get the Reba if you kill Barney and just loot it off of his body, but I doubt that'll be the case with old Longfellow and Henrietta, since you can't really kill and loot companions normally. I'm sure mods allow you to do that, but not in the vanilla game. You can see the resemblance of the in-game trailer Henrietta and also the Fallout Shelter Henrietta, so we do know that that's the same weapon. And if we do get to use the weapon, the most likely explanation for me would be that he gives it to us at some point. I'd love to have a new rifle with a unique modifier that can actually compete with the Overseer's Guardian, which is pretty much the king of rifles, at least in my eyes. So that's all I have to share with you guys about old Longfellow and what we know about his character so far. But before we wrap up the video, I'd like to share some of my hopes and thoughts on the character. First, I really hope that old Longfellow is a legit companion, not like Ada, but fully voiced and able to react to situations. You know, Ada was kind of disappointing in terms of what I expected and my expectations, which, you know, were a little high for a $10 DLC in Automatron, but old Longfellow has more potential. He's with a $25 DLC standalone, and this is a huge piece of content. And so, in order to pull this off, he'd have to have some really generic lines and probably nothing too specific like the original 13 companions, because those voice actors spent years recording lines, and I doubt old Longfellow can match that because they've only been developing this for a few months as far as we know. So I'd really love to bring him back to the Commonwealth, even if he doesn't say that much. Along with that, I really want him to have a set of likes and dislikes with a companion affinity system. That was one of my favorite things to do in the vanilla game, figuring out what our companions like and dislike, and then working towards, you know, maxing out their companion affinity. That was just a thing. And some sort of unique personality that sets him apart from the rest would also be great, since we know he likes to drink. Maybe that factors in, maybe the fact that he's from Far Harbor or has some kind of mysterious past that we don't know about. Love to hear more about that. Finally, I really hope he provides some sort of unique new perspective on the larger themes of this story in the vanilla game. You know, I want to hear what he has to say about the Brotherhood, the Institute, and on, who he likes, who he hates, who he doesn't prefer, and all of that. I'd like to hear from you guys. After watching this video, what are your old Longfellow expectations? Do you think he'll be a legit companion or more like Ada, you know, kind of a narrative driver, but not much more than that? Share all of what you're thinking about old Longfellow in the description below. Alright guys, today we looked at old Longfellow, a new companion coming in Far Harbor for Fallout 4. And next time we will cover more Fallout on my channel, so stay tuned for Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. If you learned something new or enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe for Far Harbor DLC, my survival mode playthrough, Bethesda.net mods, and general tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time. Peace!